So good morning students, so welcome again. So we are going to start with this third topic, that is the osmosis. So yesterday we have discussed about the diffusion. Now today we are going to start with the osmosis. So basically osmosis, it is a fundamental physiological phenomenon in plants, we can say. So it is involved in water absorption, translocation of nutrition in cells, or it is a special type of diffusion, we can say. The osmosis involves the movement of water through a differentially permeable membrane from an area where it is we can say it is in a high concentration to an area where it is in the low concentration. So this osmosis is also called as a osmotic diffusion. Okay. So it is a phenomenon of diffusion through a semi-permeable membrane. Okay. So according to the definition, we'll see. So this definition, osmosis is a process in which there is a movement of water from a solution of higher water concentration to a solution of a lower water concentration across a differentially permeable membrane separating the two solutions. So actually it is observed that diffusion of the solvent takes place both ways, okay, across the membrane, but the diffusion of the solvent is more from the solution of lesser concentration to that of the higher concentration. So thus it in osmosis, semi-permeable membrane, again then concentration of solution and concentration of gradients plays an important role in this. Okay, now the next we'll come to know the clear picture about this, the mechanism of osmosis by the U-tube experiments. So take a U-shaped tube and in the middle portion fix a semi-permeable membrane. Fill left arm of the U-tube which is A with the 10 ml of 5% sugar solution, 95, we can say it is about 95% water, and the next one, fill the right arm of U-tube B with the 10 ml of 10% sugar solution which is about 90% water. So the water molecules will only diffuse freely through semi-permeable membrane from the arm A into arm B. Okay, so after sometimes what happens, the water molecules from the left arm will moves into the solution in the right arm. So the level of solution in arm B will increase, okay, as you can see in this picture. So this will cause lowering of concentration of the solution in the right arm. Okay, so the membrane allows water, or we can say the solvent, to pass freely, but prevents the passage of sugar solutes in the which is called as a semi-permeable membrane. So it proves the this experiment proves the osmosis. Okay, so it has a various types, we can say types of solution and the types of osmosis is also there. Okay, so both of this condition we are going to study simultaneously. So the type of solution as well as the type of osmosis. So the osmotic movement of solvent in a cell is depending upon the external conditions of the cell. Okay, so the first type of solution, we will say it is the isotonic solution. Okay, so the each living cells are placed, when we say that living cell are placed in a solution that has a solute concentration equal to that in the cells. So the water molecules concentration is equal, and therefore water molecules move in and out of the cells at the same rate. Okay, because the constant water solution is present. So the movement of water molecule is zero. Such solution is known as a isotonic solution, means equal amount of water is been present in the cell as well as out of the cell. So it is known as an isotonic solution. And the next, that is a no osmosis. It is a type of osmosis that is no osmosis. If the cell is placed in a, we can say, isotonic solution, the water concentration of the cell sap and the outer solution is same, so no osmosis is found. Okay, so it is known as a no osmosis. This is first type. Second type, that is a hypertonic solution, or next type of osmosis, that is exosmosis. So in this hypertonic solution, if the solution has a greater solute concentration than that of cytoplasm, so it is called as a hypertonic solution. So if a cell is placed in such a solution, water will diffuse out of it. Okay, so the protoplasm will contract, or we will say it will shrink. Okay, so this solution contains a less water solution, so it will absorb the water content present in the plant or the cell. Okay, and the cell in the condition, in this final, what happened, the cell will get shrink. It is a plasmolized cells. This condition known as a plasmolized cells. Okay, now the type of osmosis in this, it is a exosmosis one. So in this condition, if the cell is placed in this type of, that is in a hypertonic solution, so the water from the cell sap will come out. As a result, the cells may become dehydrated, shrink, or get contract, known as a exosmosis. So this condition known as a exosmosis. Okay, and the last type, that is a hypotonic solution. Okay, and the type of osmosis, it is a endosmosis. Okay, so in this condition, if the solution has a lesser solute concentration than that of cytoplasm, it is called as a hypotonic solution. So take example, if a cell is placed in such a solution, water will diffuse into the cell. Okay, and the cell will swell, it will get swell. Okay, so that is a more water solution is present in this. In this type of osmosis, that is a endosmosis condition. So if a cell is placed in this type of, that is a hypotonic solution, the water from the outside the cell sap will enter into the cell. As a result, the cells may become turgid. Okay, which is known as a endosmosis. Then turgid, normal cell will form a turgid cells. Okay, it is known as endosmosis conditions. Okay, so these are the three types of solutions. Now we will discuss about the pressure which is formed during this time. So that first, that is the osmotic pressure is found. Okay, so what is osmotic pressure? So during we will say during the separation, in this picture you can see, during the separation of two solution by the semi-permeable membrane, a pressure is developed. Okay, a pressure is developed in the solution due to the presence of dissolved solutes in it, and is known as osmotic pressure. So this osmotic pressure of a particular solution is always higher than its pure solvent. Okay, so it is directly proportional to the concentration of dissolved solute in the solution, you can say it. And so the higher the concentration of solution, the higher will be its osmotic pressure. Okay. So this osmotic pressure is measured in terms of atmosphere pressure. So this osmotic pressure does not increases by the addition of insoluble solutes in the solution also. Okay, so these are the conditions of osmotic pressure. Now the next, that is a turgor pressure, that is a TP. So the pressure developed on a cell wall due to turgidity in a cell. Okay, so this, when a cell kept in a, we'll say as a hypotonic solution, okay, water from the outside enters into the cell and the cell becomes turgid and develops a pressure known as a turgor pressure. Okay, so the vacuoles gets filled with the water and then turgor pressure is formed. Okay, so next, that is a wall pressure, as the turgor pressure, we'll say turgor pressure increase, the wall pressure increases, and turgor pressure is equal to the wall pressure also. Okay, now the wall pressure, the cell, what is wall pressure? The cell wall is elastic in nature. Okay, so it exerts an equal and opposite pressure to resist the turgor pressure, which is known as a wall pressure one. Okay, that is WP. In the picture you can see it, the turgor pressure. Now the next part, that is the importance of osmosis in plants, or the role of osmosis in plants. First, that is osmosis play an important role in plant water absorption, we'll say. So the movement of water from one living cell to another within the plants are due to osmosis. Okay, so next, that is the turgor developed in the plants is mainly due to the osmosis only. Okay, and the next, again, that is osmosis is responsible to keep young stems erect and leaves in the extended form only. So these are the main conditions. It is again responsible for developing force in growing tissues, and it also helps in opening and closing of flowers, then stomata, sleep movement in leaves, okay, and etc. Last but not the least, that is it controls in distribution of water in the different parts of the plant. Okay, so these are the some importance of osmosis in plants. I hope you all must have understand all this osmosis point. So thank you very much.